I'm live. Hi, ghosts. So, as you might have noticed, I'm trying to do more interactive things, or like telling stories or making lace things. So we're going to do this in a minute. One thing that I was thinking about doing today. Hi Zara. Good to have you here. One thing I was thinking about doing was taking a virtual field trip to the Antique Pattern Library website. So I think that'd be fun to do in the future, and that way it like people could follow along if they want to, whereas it's harder to follow along with the pattern I'm going to do right now, because it's a PDF I bought on Etsy. But I'll try to, like, since it's in chart form, I think it's okay if I like write a written form, and I don't really know like what. So of course, like with most paid patterns, you don't want to share them, but like this one, I think it was in a Japanese book, which I think was like subscription crochet magazine, maybe, or something like that. And I got it secondhand, and I feel like my audience is not likely to be taking anything away from that audience, but I will let you know who the designer is credited as, because I would love to know more about who they are and like be able to support their work. So anyway, but first I remembered that I forgot to tell one fun like short but important part of Van Rose's origin story, which is that sorry, first of all, I don't want to just talk at you, so let me know how you're doing, what you're working on, what you're drinking. So yeah, I actually couldn't swallow pills until college. Like I just couldn't do it. Hi Thing Mom. I love that name. And so by the point that I had him in my life, I could do it, but like it was and still is hard. But like I do have meds that I have to swallow every day. So at one point I was it might have been my normal meds, or like those antibiotics that they give you, which are just huge. So I was having trouble with those, and I kind of felt like my attention was directed towards this one member of my the plushie herd, which I hadn't got to know very much, but it was this goat, and I felt like he was encouraging me by kind of quoting this folk song that my grandfather used to sing, which is the first part is, there was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed that fly. Poor old lady, she might die. And then she swallowed something else. She swallowed a spider to catch the fly. She swallowed something else to catch the spider. And it just goes up and up and up. And at one point, there was an old lady who swallowed a goat, just opened her throat and swallowed that goat. Hi, Winter. So, since I was trying to open my throat, I felt like Van Rose was reminding me of that song, so that I could like open and like take my meds. So I felt like he was saying, just open your throat. But, but, I am a small goat. So that was part of his origin story that I felt like I wanted to include. Drinking some iced coffee, working on Hooked by Robin's Lotus Flower Blanket. Ooh, that sounds beautiful. Working on socks, just chilling. I wanted to take a walk, but it was too hot, so maybe I'll try again in a bit. Well, I'm glad that you're here. I hope it does cool down, because like being in a desert, I know how hard it can be when it's too hot, but I'm sort of glad it was too hot so that you can be here. I've got some coffee also. I'm just trying my hand at a freehand cardigan. Cool. I'm about to need to do another cardigan, because my beautiful granny square cardigan that is based on the pattern by Alt Knots, I used Karen Simply Soft, and I have repaired it several times, but at this point I'm like, I just need to make a new one. Like it's a lovely piece, but it just won't stay put. Like the yarn is just too soft, and it's just like instead of holding, it's like bye. So ooh, you're in the last color of your shawl. Nice. Yeah, so speaking of colors, today for my demonstration, I'm using this orange sparkly yarn from Ice Yarns, which I've had for a while. And like feel free to keep chatting or like ask questions, but I'm also gonna start doing this while we talk. So this is the pattern I want to show you. It's in a book that it's where the mushroom also came from that I did the lace tutorial for a while back. I wanted to do like a standard tutorial video, but I realized right now that and like most other long form video contents aside from lives they just feel really hard for me right now because I'm dealing with a lot of other stuff. So I thought, well, at least I can bring you the promised content. So I'm going to do the bunny and also the bird and hopefully some other things from that book too. But me and Karen Simply Soft don't get along either. I've tried so many times, but nope. Well, yeah, right. Oh, thank you. Right. I'm glad you think so, because like it is cute, and this is not my normal style, but like I know that this almost won over the mushroom, so like I wanted to make sure that people had a chance to do it, and seems like the right time of year, right? So speaking of purple bunnies, you sold your purple rabbit named Hazard Garden. Nice. Congrats. Oh, speaking of selling things, anyone who has bought my yarn, just an update. One of my packing materials came, but I'm still waiting for the other one, so like that should go out soon. So let me navigate to the actual chart that I have open. I'm going to try and I'm going to tell you what the name of the book is. It's in Japanese, but I can also give a rough translation. So actually, yeah, the title is Lacework To Emmy Grande. I think Emmy Grande Herbs is like a brand of crochet thread, and so this book is a bunch of stuff that you can do with that thread, a bunch of like lace patterns. So it's really meant to be like for a much smaller weight of yarn, but I thought I would do it larger so that it's easier to see. And the subtitle, if you're curious, is Emmy Grande. I forget what how to pronounce this kanji, but I think it's Amu. So like Emmy Grande de Amu Kawaii Reisu Komono. So that would be making cute small lace things with Emmy Grande thread. The word that I'm guessing on is amu, which would mean like knit or crochet. So right, this one go back here to this PDF came in 3 parts, and now I have to keep all 3 parts open to find the thing that I need. So I'm just going to tell you the name of the designer. I wish I knew more about them than just the design, just the name, but they actually did all 3 of the ones that we voted on. So clearly, I like what they do. I just don't know much more about it. Oh yeah, it's this is done by someone who goes by Chisako, and it's written in English letters, even though it's a Japanese name, so it's CHI-SA-KO. So, on the off chance anyone knows who that is, I would love to know. So, that's the background info. I think that I will kind of go through what each row is and then do it, and then like hold it up and kind of recap. And if you want a written version, like I think I'm also going to try to write like a written out version to put on the blog of my new website. So, but also if you're not doing this, it's fine if you don't want to crochet along. It's just like an option either now or for people who are watching after. Also gives me something to do. So sort of on a whim, I did the entire one of this last night while watching Mentor pilot videos. He's a the Boeing pilot who explains a lot about what actually goes on in the aviation industry. And like, yeah, I didn't think of myself as like a plane geek, but it's fun to watch. So there's this, so in the chart there's this tiny circle that I think could either be a magic circle or a ring, a chain to chain and join. I'm just going to do a magic circle. So if you're like me and have had trouble with the magic circle, I realized that I usually do this slip knot so that the long end can be pulled to tighten it, but for a magic circle you need to set it up so that the short end can be pulled. So that might help. Okay, so once we have our magic circle set up for the first row, yes, because we're the row's kind of curved, but we're doing rows for this one, and we're starting at the chin and going up. So we do chain 4, and then I forgot to look up what this stitch means, what this stitch is called, but if anyone knows what I'm talking about, it's the one that's like two tall stitches, kind of in a chart the lines are kind of curved, so like and they share an end point. So you do either a double or a treble crochet, and I'm using US terms. And then you stop when you have 2 more loops on the hook, then you start a second one in the same space, and then continue till you have 3 loops on the hook, then yarn over and put the entire thing through. So so it looks kind of like a oval shape. I'm just gonna call them ovals for now until I remember what the name is. But thank you. I'm going to try that next time because I've never been able to get the hang of the magic circle. Well, I'm glad that it helped. I used to struggle with the magic circle until I made a realistic octopus amigurumi and needed to make 232 circles for the suckers. I'd imagine that was like a trial by fire. It does sound cute. Hi. Hi, Viv. As in BB. Yeah, glad to have you here. It came out very cute, but I'm never making it again. I don't blame you. So and pro tip for the first row, it's going to be a bit confusing because the lace is so like big in the scale that we're working with, so make sure you keep track of where the magic circle is because that's what you're working into. So we're doing 4 of those things that I mentioned, the 2 tall stitches kind of merged into one, except the first one is chain 4 and then just the treble stitch. And just to quickly give you an idea of what we're doing, and I'll go through it more slowly in a minute. So chain 4, treble stitch, chain 2, one of those treble clusters, chain 3, a standalone double crochet, chain 3, the treble cluster, chain 2, and the last treble cluster, and then chain 1 and turn. So there will be 5 rays going out from the circle to start with. So here's our second cluster, which is the first one that really counts as like how you normally do the cluster, because the with the first stitch you kind of have to chain first. We've chained 3. Do our double crochet, chain another 3. Treble cluster. Chain 2, and the last treble cluster, which means I can tighten the magic loop and not feel like everything is flopping around quite as much. Okay, I'll chain 1 in preparation for turning. There, okay. And at this point I've noticed the middle will have kind of a dip because it's only a double crochet. I'm going to move my, I can't actually see my screen because of the chart, so I should move it. So yeah, as you can see, we to recap, we chained 4 and did the treble crochet, which counts as the first treble cluster. I guess that's what I'll be calling it. Chain 2, do another treble cluster into the magic loop. Chain 3, do a double crochet in the center there, also into the magic loop. Chain 3, do a treble cluster. Chain 2 and do a final treble cluster. Then chain 1 and turn. Then we slip stitch into this chain 2 space between the 2 treble clusters on this side. I'm going to try not to like rush too much and just assume that we may have to do this in multiple parts. But yeah, so we have our first row. For row 2, it's very similar. So up the sides of the bunny, we're doing the treble cluster, chain 2, treble cluster in each row, just to kind of make the sides. And then for the center, we have, in this row, we have a bunch of chain 2 and then standalone treble. So we have that just going across, and then on the other side it's the treble cluster motif. So just like last time, in this chain 2 space we chain 4, do a treble crochet. That's the first treble cluster. Chain 2. In the same chain 2 space, we do our treble cluster. And as I mentioned, we have 3 loops on the hook, and yarn over, pull the yarn through all 3. Now chain 2, and we work a treble crochet into the first chain 3 space. And we're doing that 2 more times. So chain 2, treble crochet, chain 2, treble crochet, then for the center, we chain 2 and put the treble crochet right into the double crochet. I think I accidentally made a double crochet. And I'll stop and read or respond to things in the chat. So like don't feel like you have to or have to not chat. So it's up up to you. But yeah, that is. We've done half of this row, so we got to come down the other side. Chain 2, and then we do our treble crochet into the chain 3 space on the other side of the double crochet. Chain 2, second treble. We've had 1, yes. What about second treble? I don't think he knows about second treble, Pip. And chain 2, third treble. And then, yep, we chain 2, and now we're doing our cluster into the chain 2 space in the previous cluster. So that's the kind of side motif. So treble cluster, chain 2, treble cluster. I said treble, not double. And you can see why it gets really big if you don't use tiny yarn, because we're doing a bunch of treble stitches. They're very tall. Chain 1, turn, and let me just recap this row. So this is row 2. We've done chain 4, treble crochet, chain 2, treble cluster into this chain 2 space, chain 2, standalone treble crochet, chain 2, second treble, chain 2, third treble, all into this chain 3 space, chain 2, treble crochet into the double crochet, chain 2, treble crochet into the chain 3 space, and once again we do that 2 more times, so there are 3 on in each chain 3 space. Chain 2, and then the treble cluster, chain 2, treble cluster in this chain 2 space. Chain 1, turn. Then we slip stitch into the chain 2 space that we just made, and this is row 3. We chain 4 and do the treble crochet. This one's very similar to the last one, except there's a surprise in the center. It's kind of, we do kind of a Y shape. So treble cluster, well, it counts as a treble, but it's like chain 4 and a treble crochet. Chain 2, treble cluster. I think I did a double by accident. Treble cluster. It's going to be chain 3 because we want to make sure that since it's curving, like it kind of lays flat and there's more space for it to cover. Let me adjust where the pattern is on my screen. Okay. So we have a whole bunch of little chain 2 spaces. Oh, but it turns out we're actually working our treble crochets into the previous row's treble crochets, so we don't have to worry about the chain 2 spaces. So chain 3 after the treble cluster, treble crochet into the previous treble crochet, chain 3 and keep doing that until the center. Just chain 3 and treble crochet into the previous one. Okay, making sure that I know where the center is because it can get a bit confusing at this point. So we chain 3 and make a double crochet in the center. I misread the pattern a little bit. So I was right up till here. Treble cluster, chain 3, treble, chain 3, and then we switch to double crochets into the previous trebles. Chain 3, another double crochet. Chain 3, and in the center here, we make a double crochet, chain 3, and another double crochet. So that's the Y shape that I mentioned. Then we chain 3, and the nice thing about this pattern is that you just do the same thing on both sides. So it's very symmetrical. So we have our double crochet and the treble, chain 3 and another double crochet, chain 3 and a treble crochet, chain 3 and our treble cluster, chain 2, treble cluster, chain 1, turn. So that's row 3. So chain 4, treble crochet, chain 2, treble cluster, and that's in this first chain 2 space. Chain 3, treble crochet in the previous treble crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the previous treble crochet, chain 3, double crochet, in the next treble, chain 3, and in the center double crochet, chain double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, so you have that Y shape. Chain 3, double crochet in the next treble crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the next treble crochet, chain 3, treble crochet in the next treble crochet, chain 3, then we have the treble cluster, chain 2, treble cluster in this last chain 2 space. Whew. Let's take a short coffee break and let me know how you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're, crocheting along or not, but if you are, let me know. To drink some coffee. And do our haunted hydration. By the way, we're about, see where this Y shape is right here? That's what we've done so far. So we do have a ways to go, but I don't mind doing this in multiple lives. I would like to do more tutorial type stuff, but it's, doing the top-down one with all the stuff on the screen, like, for some reason it's just like my brain won't do that right now, so I figured this is something at least. I wish I could crochet along, but my daughter won't let me put her down. Well, I'm glad that you're prioritizing her, and thanks for being here. Like, if people just want to, if people come here and just want to watch me do this thing, like, that's almost more of a compliment, kind of, because it's like, wow, people just want to come and watch me talk. Cool. So even if I can get her down, she pulls up my working yarn, so I definitely learned my lesson there. My crochet time is 5 a.m. until she wakes up. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, that is one reason why I have the recordings of the lives on my channel, and I'm trying to, like, add something so that people have a reason to, like, go back and watch them. I mean, I would love for people to just come and, like, hang out, but I feel like it helps if I have something that's something that people who don't know me yet might be looking for. So just helps the channel grow and stuff. So. Oh, thank you. That's such a good compliment that I have a very Bob Ross columnist. Thanks. I am happy to hear that. That helps my confidence a lot. Yep, I'm living vicariously through you. Well, thank you. Let's continue with our sparkly orange bunny, which I feel like gives a little bit of the Halloween gothiness that we love, even though this is very spring and Easter kind of. So this is row 4. Thank you, Witter. So we've chained one, and the way that we always get our hook into the right place is by just adding a slip stitch into the it's usually going to be into the chain 2 space that we just made. If that changes, I will let you know, of course. But for right now, it's a slip stitch into this chain 2 space. And this is very similar to the previous row, except in that center Y, we're doing a whole bunch of, like a half shell of double crochets. So to start with, we chain 4. Treble crochet, and that's our first cluster. Chain 2. Treble crochet, and again this is in the chain 2 space, and I said treble crochet, but that's our second treble cluster. Now we start the standalone tall stitches. Chain 3. I'm going to carefully read the pattern this time to make sure I don't mistake treble and double again. The only difference is, like, the symbol is the same if you've seen charts, but the treble has 2 lines on the vertical bar, and the double just has 1 line. So that's why I didn't catch that last time. So treble crochet in this first, treble crochet. Yeah, we've done our treble cluster and chained 3, treble in the treble, chain 3. Then we double crochet in this next double crochet. Chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet. Ooh, sorry. We paused to bring you this breaking news update from the chat. My partner is sweeping the kitchen and has just presented me with a couple of stitch markers that migrated. This is why I buy the cheap ones in 500 quart, right? The boxes, count boxes. Oh. Like 500 quarts of stitch markers. Wow. 500 count boxes. They're always going on quests. Yes, they're blessed, stressed, and on a quest. Yeah, that makes sense. I would like to buy more stitch markers as well, because like when I don't often use or need them, but when I do, I can't find them. So yeah. Right, we have done our 2 double crochets, then we chain 3 and work into this chain 3 space in the center, the Y shape. We work 6 double crochets, so it's kind of a shell stitch right there. If you're wondering where the blessed, stressed, and on a quest thing came from, it's from a reel I did on my Instagram, which I would love for you to check out if you aren't following me, if you want to. And it just popped into my head, and I was like, wow, that's a perfect idea for a reel, and thankfully it came out great. Plus, like, speaking of tutorials. I'm trying to post more like short picture tutorials on there, like with the I'm going through the book of from the antique pattern library, which has a bunch of flower patterns. So I did the first one. It took me a while to find a way to do it that would get it short enough, but I settled on the pictures and then the words on the screen, and just kind of made it just. I kept each picture on the screen just long enough that someone could pause if they want to, but yeah. So I've done the first of those patterns over there, which is the for a flower called Heart's Ease, which is apparently also viola, but it's shaped kind of like a heart, which is nice. Okay, we've done our 6 double crochets. Then we chain 3 and double crochet in this next double crochet down here. So it's not the one that's making up the Y in the center. It's the next one. Chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet. Chain 3 and treble crochet in the treble crochet. Chain 3 and do our treble cluster. Chain 2 and treble cluster. Chain 1, turn. So let me recap. This is row 4. I'm gonna have to move back so you can see the whole thing. Chain 4, treble crochet, chain 2, treble cluster. That's in the first chain 2 space. Chain 3, treble crochet in the next treble crochet. Chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet. Chain 3, double crochet in the next double crochet. Chain 3, and in this chain 3 space in the center, do 6 double crochet. Then continue down this side in the same way. So chain 3, double crochet in the double crochet. Chain 3, double in the double. Chain 3, treble in the treble. Chain 3, treble cluster. Chain 2, treble cluster in this chain 2 space. Chain 1, turn, and hydrate. That's not in the pattern. It's just my instructions. Trying to figure out if I can do one more. Yeah, I think I can get one more row in, and then we can just pick up it next time. So slip stitch into this chain 2 space, chain 4, and this is row 5, treble crochet, chain 2, treble cluster, oh, this is a bit different because since we have more space to cover, we're now chaining 4 instead of 3. But another different thing is that we've stopped doing the standalone treble crochets, so it's just double at this point. So chain 4, double crochet in our first treble crochet. Have to be super vigilant because this yarn has the extra sparkly strand, and it likes to not go with the rest of the strand of yarn. So I have to make sure my hook catches both of them. Chain 4. Double in the double. Chain 4, double in the double. Sounds like a dance move. Chain 4. Okay, yeah, just making sure I have 3 doubles on this side. And now we make double crochets in each of these previous 6 in the center, except now we're chaining 1 in between, so they spread out a bit more. So double, chain 1, double, chain 1. And we do that all around the shell that we made. You can kind of see that. Chain 4, double in the double, chain 4, double in the next double, chain 4, double in that last treble stitch, chain 4, and then we do switch back to treble crochet for the cluster stitches. That's our first cluster, chain 2, second cluster. This is in the chain 2 space from the previous treble cluster. Chain 1, turn. So to recap, we have chain 4, treble crochet, chain 2, treble cluster in the first chain 2 space, chain 4, double crochet in this treble crochet, chain 4, double in this double, chain 4, double in the next double, chain 4, double crochet, chain 1 in each of the 6 double crochets that you made up here in this center. So we do that all the way across. Double crochet, sorry, we do all of that, so that's 6 double crochets with a chain 1 space in between, chain 4, double crochet in the next double, chain 4, double in the next double, chain 4, double crochet in the treble, chain 4, treble cluster, chain 2, treble cluster in the previous treble clusters, chain 2 space, chain 1 turn. And I think that is all we have time for right now, but hopefully Thursday we can pick back up. I actually won't be in here Thursday, so I might have to cancel because there's a slight scheduling issue with this space. But so I might either be in my room or like we'll just wait till next time. But yeah, I'm so happy that you've joined me, and now that I know that this is a thing that I can do and that people want to see, like just doing the kind of crochet along style videos, I would love to do a lot more of them. Not every single time, but sorry, I'm kind of running into a lot of stuttering issues, so that's why I'm like pausing. But I will never be used to deliveries on a Sunday, but I just got my order of Play-Doh scented perfume. Nice. Well, that sounds fun. Thanks, Winter. I'm glad that you had fun. Funnily enough, I got my Safeway order this morning, which is also on a Sunday. I'm gonna have to call them because I think they gave me someone else's bag and like didn't give me one of my things, but I'll have to check the list and see what's actually on there. But yeah, so thanks for coming, and goat bye. It's time to goat.